to give our kids a lot of credit. I thought we had a really good push in 2.5 periods in overtime. We had some good looks. So Coco was outstanding. I thought our D played hard. I was running 3 lines pretty hot, and then I got Villy in that last overtime and a half there. So it's like we talked about short-term memory. Now we move on to Saturday.
Just that kind of game, that magnitude, bright lights, what can that do for a young core like that?
Well, it'll be good for our team. We had to face some adversity in the game. I talked about after the regulation, it was 3-3. We've talked about as a staff, short-term memory as our group. I said, here's a perfect example, guys. We can't focus on what just happened. Focus on the future, right? So, I thought our guys did a good job. They were saying all the right things in the dressing room, and these types of games are really good for your team in the playoffs, and I thought this was a good test for us.
Yeah, talk a little more about that intermission after regulation ended. Obviously, there must have been a little bit of a, gut punch feeling at that moment. How did you kind of try to get the guys to have that short memory?
Yeah, that's a good question. The leadership group in the dressing room, you listen to the guys talk a little bit, and you just kind of feed off that and kind of take it in a different direction. So I think first of all, it stems from the leadership group, guys that have been through it, John Hayden, Max Lajoie, and then Mitch Stevens. They did a great job of settling the group down. I think that was the biggest thing, just settling the guys down. And, I think everybody was stunned just as much as we were in the building. So that's playoff hockey. And thankfully, we came out on the right end of it tonight.
Thanks.
Yeah, the playoff hockey coach, of course, it's about taking punches, giving punches, getting back up. I mean, we saw all this in one game tonight. What can that do to really galvanize a team in such a short series?
Yeah, it is a short series. It's I don't think I've been in the best in 3 since the last time I coached in the American Hockey League. So to obviously get that first win is important. At the end of the day, it's in our building. We wanted to try and get a good start to the series. And again, for our young kids, it's just this is a new experience for them at a different level. This is the American Hockey League. You're one step from the National Hockey League, and you saw the intensity out there, and you saw the there's changes of momentum in the game. So, and that's part of playoff hockey. So we have to learn to deal with it. Now we move on, like we talked about short-term memory. Now we get focused for game 2.
I was interested in how you said you kind of altered the lines as you said, with 3 lines a lot. How hard is that? As a coach, what are you kind of thinking as the overtimes wear on? When do you go to this other line? What are some of the decisions you had to
Well, I was just, I was running 3 hot, and I tried to get Villeneuve back into it, and then so I just I had to blender going a little bit in overtime just to sometimes you ignite a little bit of energy, and I thought our guys did a good job of just kind of buying into it. You saw Luke Hemmond get a few shifts there. He had a great look there on a turnover, and I thought he just kind of helped drive our energy of our group a little bit. So that's just more of a feel as a coaching move, and just feeling out the game. And that game can go anyway. Like one shot from the point gets hits a stick and goes in. And one thing I liked about the goal with the offensive tactic that we scored on is something that we practice as a group. So at the end of the day, give the guys credit for executing it.
Thanks.
So, Coach, great win. Just wanted to speak a little bit about the conditioning when a game goes this long. A lot of practices and a lot of conditioning seemed to pay off. It was a tough game.
Well, the big thing, we didn't talk to our group about it. We heard them talk. Obviously Calgary played on Sunday. They had to travel yesterday, so we wanted to try and catch them a little bit, under energized a little bit. And I thought we did that with a 3-0 lead. Then you saw them; they found their legs going in the third, and they got a mature group over there. They got Ferk, you've got Kieran's, you've got some veteran guys on the back end. So I thought you saw a little bit of that, that takeover. But if you look at the last, 2.5 periods in overtime, I thought our guys did a great job of managing short shifts to keep that energy high, and that's where that conditioning comes in.
Coach, you mentioned Saturday, looking ahead to game 2, turning the page. I know it's going to take some time to maybe process tonight, but knowing that you got a few days of extra rest or more rest, how advantageous is that for you guys?
Well, I think it's going to be advantageous for both teams. When you play, 2.5 overtime periods, or what was it, 2.5? 3 and a bit, right? So at the end of the day, it's a long night for the group. So we'll give them a day off tomorrow and most likely a day off Thursday and practice Friday because we emptied the tanks tonight. I think she might be past empty, right? So, but it's, you know what? I think it's a great win to start the playoffs, and we move on from here now. Good. Who's the new guy?
Oh, I know him from Kenji. I know him from
What's up, dudes?
Congrats, guys. I'll start with you, Hayes. Just the importance of getting that first one. You felt the momentum in the building, and then the tail of 2 games kind of wears on you. But a win's a win, and that's game 1.
Yeah, win's a win. Great goals by Stevie. Great job by Coco keeping us in it. There's going to be highs and lows the whole way. So I thought we stayed pretty level despite letting a few in, and ended up being a good night.
Coco, for you, as the night wears on, and I think you faced 1 shot in that double overtime towards the tail end, maybe last 30 seconds or so. Just in that moment, you need to keep moving, keep facing those shots, or is it nice to take a breath there?
Yeah. I had last year one game like that in playoffs, and then I lose today. I was like, I wanna win, and I don't know how many, probably 2 save or something, but yeah, we score and we won. I'm happy.
Well, congrats on your first playoff win.
Yeah, Nike, when that final goal did go in, what was your reaction? What were your emotions out there to, when the win was secure?
Yeah, it's so nice feeling. I think the feeling is really great in playoffs when we win, and yeah, it's really long game and need to keep focus, and of course it's like when we won, it's give like a lot of, for sure.
And then John, when obviously they scored that late goal in regulation, what was the mood in the locker room right after that for that intermission? How'd you guys kind of head into the overtime at that point?
Well, I think we have to expect and be prepared for all scenarios. So Lax talks about a short memory. That's sort of like staying even keel despite the roller coaster of playoffs. So, yeah, I think we guys were talking about just finding a way to dig in and make it all worth it. So, yeah, just shift at a time, chip away, and again, Stevie did a great job.
Definitely. And as a veteran on this team, did you say anything in that intermission, or were you kind of talking to the guys at that moment about certain things?
It's all by committee. Guys are trying to manufacture energy, I guess. A lot of guys were saying they felt good. I don't believe them. But, yeah, we found a way to dig in. It was good.
John, for a game of this length and intensity, I mean, can you describe the physical toll that it takes, the energy it takes, the stamina, focus that it takes to play that hard, that long? I think you left the ice like 3 times the entire night, by the way. But for you or for your Firebirds teammates, what it takes to play that hard, that long?
Well, yeah, we were yelling at our strength coach, Wicks, for getting us ready for that because we work out so much. But yeah, we'll probably feel it more tomorrow. For now, sort of just riding the high of the wind. But it's not going to be the last overtime game. I'm pretty sure it won't be. So, yeah, just get a nice off day and get back at it.
The highs and the lows of the playoffs can be super dramatic. I mean, sitting here talking about a victory, can you describe, the difference between that and what it would mean, especially in a best-of-3 series, if we were talking about an inverse outcome?
I think we have to forget about this game the same way we would forget about a loss. A lot of business to take care of this weekend. They're a great team, and they just proved that they're a great team, a resilient team. So respect to them. They clawed back, and yes, we found a way. But it's time to watch this one and get back to work.
Hey, it's obviously the physical toll of this game, but what does it say about the mental makeup and character of this team to have a 3-0 lead, have it be squandered, and then find a way to get it done in the end?
Yeah, I mean, we're confident in Coco, Stezzy, our goalies. Coco did a great job tonight, bailing us out. Confidence with our decor, and then the forwards I thought did a good job of just kind of rolling them over, and the shift started to get short. And yeah, it says a lot about the confidence and the resilience of the group, especially the way that third period went. So proud of the way the guys responded.
So question for you, Coco. So conditioning for you, how do you prepare for games that go on this long, mentally and physically?
Yeah, I try to like prepare my body and my mind for day before game, and yeah, of course after third period I need to take a little bit more something like pizza or like carbs. I don't know how to say, and stay hydrated and try to like my brain works fast. I try that, and yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a question about the stick behind the goal when you lost the stick. How did that feel? I mean, I was watching that, and it continued, and you had one pad save, and you were standing in there. What's going through your mind at that time?
I don't know.
Fair enough. Good win.
Yeah.
Well, the reason we kind of went to overtime is they did make a push in the third period. Can you kind of explain what they were doing differently that they didn't do in the first two periods to tie this game up?
I mean, I think there was quite a few chances that Coco bailed us out on early on. So I don't know if there's. I don't have an answer to if something specifically changed. Maybe we I mean, we'll see the film, but maybe we got a little bit away from our aggressiveness, having a lead like that. That's something that some of us forwards talked about getting back to in overtime. But just the way the game goes, momentum swings both ways. You try and shut down their extended shifts, and then yeah, like it's what was it, 7 seconds to go, 6-on-5. So yeah, it can be a game of bounces, but yeah, it's behind us. Thanks.
congrats on the goal. Just your thoughts. You see it go in. Your reaction. Did you black out or did you just?
A little bit of relief. It's a long game, but credit to our guys. Like when you give up that late goal to force overtime, and we battled through that like for another 2.5 periods, almost 3 periods, right? So it takes a lot of mental will to stay in games like that after giving up that lead. But it was awesome resilience by the team.
To piggyback off that, Lax was complimentary of the veteran leadership tonight, taking some of these guys under their wings that they're new to this, right? The rookies, just your role in that and how you can help moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the guys, Hayes, Fleur, Goose, Benny, Beersy, like, up and down the lineup, like Laj as well, right? Like we have guys that, have played a long time in this league, have, gone through the playoffs. I think those guys back-to-back years go to the finals, right? So, most of all of us have played in the NHL. So it's, gaining from that experience and, try to keep everyone motivated in between these periods. And, playoff hockey is a different animal. So, just trying to lead by example on the ice and give some encouragement words when we can. And
Have you ever had a goal to that magnitude in your pro career?
No, that was a big goal. So happy with the way our line played, and all 4 lines, all 60, and Coco as well. So
Congrats, obviously. That was a fantastic win. The intermission after the regulation ended, where obviously they had that goal in the final seconds. What was the vibe in the locker room, and how did you guys kind of get prepared for the overtime at that point?
short memory.
Yes.
Short memory. These things happen, playoffs, right? And it's the team's not going to give up. This is going to happen. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be roller coasters, and have a short memory. Focus on your next shift, your next sort of play, and take it from there. And I think the guys, we did that, and we stuck with it for 2 more periods and into the 3rd overtime. So long game, but proud of our guys tonight.
And can you describe the game-winning goal a little bit? What did you see? What were you thinking as it progressed?
Well, Mel down low, just winning the puck battle, going low to high, and just try to get body position in front. Otto put the puck right at a great spot and just made a good tip on it. So, yeah.
Mitchell, in your experience, your playoff experience, your Stanley Cup experience, what can a playoff win like this, a dramatic playoff win, do for a team, bring a team closer together, galvanize a team?
Overcoming adversity, I think, when they forced, overtime, and, we had to overcome that. I think that's the biggest challenge in the playoffs and in general. I think, overcoming, that roller coaster and trying to, stay level-headed through it all. And I learned from guys, with that I played with too, right? And it's always that mindset of, all right, next shift, focus on what you have to control, and just take it shift by shift, period by period, and you're not trying to win a game in, the first 10 minutes of a game, right? Or you're trying to sustain that pressure. In a series like this, you want to, wear them down and, put pucks behind their D and, wear their D down, and they're trying to do the same thing against us, right? So it's, building off that adversity and, coming, together as a team, because, emotional games like this, it, brings a group together.
Is it something that you can even lean on or rely on as a group to say, hey, we've been in tough spots before in these very playoffs, we can do it again, we can overcome again?
Absolutely. You always draw from even the regular season too, where, we'd be down 2 or 3 guys during a game, and, other guys stepped up. And I think that's important to draw from, these experiences for sure.
Mitchell, congrats on the goal and the win. You're going to face a desperate team come Saturday, and just kind of curious how you guys turn the page and close them out.
We're going to focus on, tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, preparing for Saturday. I think, you can't get too far ahead of ourselves here. We have to, dissect a little bit of the game and, prepare as much as we can, take care of our bodies. And, yeah, they're going to be desperate because it's a best-of-3 series, right? So, but we're a confident group, and, we think if we come prepared, I think we're going to give ourselves a good shot. Good. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for sticking it out.